جزاك الله خيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا مباركا يليق بجل قدره وعظيم سلطانه، واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له، واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. It is a pleasure to be here today. I remember when Iswa used to be a small house, like Imam Faisal was mentioning, and you could sit in the musalla and see the kitchen, back then. So it was a very small place. Alhamdulillah, it has grown into be one of the big centers in the area. So it's truly, an inspiration for me to have our first fundraiser, our first public fundraiser here at this fine institute and masjid, House of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And, we cannot be thankful to Allah if we don't thank the people who are behind the scenes. So, of course, we recognize the generosity of ISWA for giving us the place, and our esteemed panelists and leaders who came. We have some people who came all the way from Michigan and Pennsylvania this evening and earlier today. So again, we want to recognize their efforts and the families who've been, working hard to make sure the food is here and the appetizers and so forth. And also we've been blessed to have a number of local organizations here. The Peace Through Justice Foundation, Brother Murai Salakan, he's actually driving down from Chicago right now as we speak and should be here around 8 o'clock, inshallah. Also, we have some young brothers, young artists here with us, Naeem Beg and Naeem Owens, who will share with us some of their inspiring words, inshallah, about things that are happening around us. And we've been also blessed to have a small exhibit by Mafiq Foundation. They are one of the organizations that do youth development, and also Dar es Salaam. They have a new project going on that, inshallah, I'd like everyone to stop by their table and look at. And of course, our wonderful volunteers and everyone who's given their time tonight to come here. I know we're all very busy with other things in our lives. So quickly, I just want to introduce who the team is that is involved with Ilya. On the board, we have myself, Sister Noha is our secretary, and also Ibrahim Al-Arabi on my right here. We form the board. So we have a board of 3 people, and we have 3 more officers. Sister Barry Bako, is she here tonight? She's probably on her way. She's our treasurer, and Brother Sharif Halawa, is on his way as well, and Brother Shalat Shahata is one of our officers as well. And alhamdulillah, it's been a very challenging year for us, 2012. And to be a little blunt about it or honest about it, we were actually thinking of closing down because of the challenges we went through. We had a lot of intake. The demand was so high that we couldn't keep up with the logistics behind the classes, specifically the classes. It was easier to do internships and short programs, half a day, couple of hours, and so forth. But then we decided that let's just, embrace this challenge, inshallah, and see what we can do about it. So tonight I would like to challenge each one of you to first of all embrace this mission. The mission of developing ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because it's not an easy challenge that we face as a group, as a small community. But we've been blessed to have a new addition to our team, our first full-time employee, Brother Ahmed Shah. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. His father passed away this morning, but he was planning on coming. So inshallah, keep him in your dua. Next slide, inshallah.
Our next panelist is Brother Ibrahim Abdul Qadir.
Next slide. Yeah, I think this. So inshallah, I'll just quickly give a quick overview of what we've done over the 3 years. Alhamdulillah, I remember Brother Abdul Qadir, one of our recent volunteers and people helping out the organization. If you want to raise your hand, just there you go. He said something really interesting a couple of months ago when things were really tough and tight. He said, you've been around for 3 years, and since you're around for 3 years, you must be doing something right. So given that fact, I think you guys are on the right track. So alhamdulillah, and I think he is right. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with a lot of hardworking people and a good vision of where we're trying to head. So we started in 2009, in June, and over the first 6 weeks, we were able to start our first program, Mountain Strong, which was for middle school young brothers. And I see Arif, he's smiling because he was, at the time, part of our board, and also he was involved on that trip, and it was a fun one. We did have some logistical issues towards the end of the trip. One of the brothers, wasn't feeling well on the mountain. He was a 12-year-old, and we had to carry him 1,200 feet top the mountain up to the bus. So we had a little delay. But alhamdulillah, it's truly a really, really, remarkable memory. And what I remember is we were going to cancel it just 2 days before the trip because we only had 4 people registered. And we thought about it, we're not going to do a program for just 4 young people. But subhanAllah, our community always kind of likes to do things last minute. So the day before, we got about 8 registrations, and the day of, right after Fajr, before we got on the bus, we got 2 people who just came to join. So we ended up with 16 young brothers and 5 chaperones. We have Arif here and Muhammad Ishaq were 2 of the young brothers at the time who were involved as chaperones. So from there, we just decided, inshallah, we'll continue. Once a month, we'll do something. And by the end of the year, we had 4 classes in Maryland, and we did 1 program in Michigan called Make the Click, Bridge the Gap. 2010 is when we introduced Mission Excellence, our tutoring, leadership-based tutoring. And the reason we thought that this is needed, because there's most of our students are young people. Their full-time occupation is a student, obviously. And those who have difficulty in their academics, kind of fall behind, and it causes, secondary problems in their lives. From there, we started Leadership to Mankind, which is a leadership training program we provide in homeless shelters for displaced individuals. We've done it for that year. We were pretty active, 2010 and 11, with that program. So it's one of our certificates. And then we also introduced the concept of internships. Some of them range from half a day for middle schoolers all the way to multiple weeks, for college-age people. Also in 2010, we started doing things out of state, North Carolina, Delaware. Virginia came on the board around 2011, where we introduced also Empower One, which is our coaching and counseling program. From there, we started, towards the end of 2011, I Can Lead, which is a leadership program for re-entry in correctional facilities. And tonight, we'll hear, inshallah, from Mr. Jack Kavanagh, the director of the Howard County Detention Center. He's with us here on my left, who'll talk a little bit about, what it is to be in a correctional facility and so on. So we started I Can Lead this year, 2012. We had our first full semester, 14 weeks. We had about 25 students, and alhamdulillah, about 5 or 7 of them got certificates at the end in June. This year was really exciting. We didn't do too much in terms of classes, but alhamdulillah, we did a lot of internships, and also Ilya got its first property, a piece of land in Baltimore County or city called Green Sprouts. That's the name we refer to it. And inshallah, we'll hear more about it from Brother Ibrahim and Brother Amir. So I'll kind of, skip really quick through this slide. There's a couple of important things we'll talk about tonight, inshallah. If we can just go back 1 second. The race to college, which Brother Ibrahim, Brother Abdul Qadir will talk to us about in a little bit. And the Kareem Morsi Fund, inshallah, that I will touch on later, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I was blessed to meet Brother Ayman. I believe it was 7 years ago. He came to give a speech at Mecca Learning Center, which I've been associated with for over 12 years now. I've been volunteering to teach at the Sunday school there, Arabic and Islamic studies. And what attracted me to his speech was that he brought to us the thought of project management and communication. And then I remember keeping in touch with him all these years. And then when he told me about what Ilya was doing, I couldn't help but want to be a part of that family, if I can call the Ilya family, of course. And he invited me to one of his meetings. And from that day, I remember that I decided that that's exactly what I want to do. Meaning, I don't want to talk anymore. I want to do stuff, project management. And what is better than learning and teaching how to be leaders? I think this is one of the aspects that this ummah is truly missing. As everybody know, we have a lot of masajid and we have a lot of Islamic societies, and they're all good associations and they do good stuff, but I'm more of getting it done, and I feel like Ilya truly brings that to the table. Back to the land, that's where my true passion is. I found that through this piece of land, we can not only teach our kids how to be leaders, but be connected to the land, and that's what we have done recently. This piece of land that we took over just a few months ago was full of brush and old trees. He gave me the assignment to take care of that, and he gave me a very low budget to get it done, and alhamdulillah, we got it done with that number that he gave us. So now we have cleared it, we have maintained it, we have been maintaining it. The neighborhood is very excited about that, and recently we have put a fence all around it as of just last week. I do believe that we need every single bodies that is present here to participate in such a great project. That's pretty much it. That's all what I can have to say. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. So basically, over the summer, Amayman asked me to help him out with a small project, and it started off as just me mowing a lawn, but it turned out to be much bigger than that. He asked me to bring other people on board to show them how to work with throughout the land and to work as one with the land. So we basically went to the land and we cleared it. We made sure it was safe to mow, and that's basically what we did. We tendered the land and we made sure it was okay and it was safe to be around, because we want to imply environment in which people can be there and they'll feel safe. And that's basically what the Smartscapes is. We're just taking care of land and making sure it's okay to be around. And that's basically it.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, so basically Halalia is an idea we came up with, me and another brother here, Mustafa Halawa. I don't know where he is right now, but yeah. It's basically just a new youth center that's funded by Elia. We're trying to bring youth back to the area because a lot of people have lost interest over time into coming to the office and coming to the area and coming to programs. So basically, we're just going to have this room for the youth to be able to do youth activities. We're going to set up, inshallah, TVs, video games, a lot of, stuff that youth like to do. Well, there's just a smaller problem before that. We need a lot of funds for it because, like I said earlier, people are losing interest in it. And that would cost us about $2,500 to get it started with that program, including rent and other utility costs. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. These are a few pictures from some of our programs. On the top right is Brother Imam Al-Kesha, who came to give a halaqah to the youth at our I-Lead spring break camp. And it was basically a sports camp for youth so that they have something to do during their spring break. And he came along with Brother Muhammad Abu Talib, who gave a halaqah to the youth. On the bottom left is our panel from the YPM, our Youth Project Management, one of our classes that we offer. And on the bottom right, we have 4 Centuries of Islam, which was given by Brother Amir Muhammad, who founded the Islamic Museum. And it was a 9/11 program, and he was talking about the different things that Islam how it has affected America and Islam in America. Next to it is a picture of one of the programs, our internship programs with the youth, and I think they went to Georgetown. In the middle, there's one with Brother Ayman and Mustafa Hussein, who was at our camping trip in the spring. And next to it is also from one of the trips, and on top is Brother Muhammad Ishaq and Mustafa Halawa at Mountain Strong, I think, and Mahmoud Ansari at the one of the trips. There's also one of the turtles they caught at Mountain Strong. There's also Brother Ayman and Brother Arif Kabir at our first program in Michigan in 2009.
Jazakumullah khairan. So I just want to touch on a couple of things because I think the brothers kind of brushed over it real quick and they were a little bashful maybe. But Smartscapes is one of 3 current projects that we're doing with Green Sprouts. So Green Sprouts is a concept. It's a platform for leadership development. And like Brother Ibrahim was referring to the land, the connection with the land. So we're really using it for specifically the young age 5 to 7-year-olds to provide them some basic programming on caring for the earth, working together in teams, collaborating with others, respecting elders, and so forth. And the vision we have for it is to bring specifically those young children with the elders in the community, those who are over the age of retirement, who would like to come and act as coaches and mentors for those young children. In parallel to, so this is phase 1 of the project. Phase 0 is what Brother Ibrahim was referring to, cleaning the land, making sure it's safe, which also Amir referred to, and so forth. Just getting it, starting a vegetable garden. Phase 1 is making it more of open to the community, the society, local people could come and do, local events and so on. What Amir is doing as well is part of another project under Green Sprouts called Smartscapes. And this is more than just, mowing the grass. What he did not mention is that, for a couple of weeks he was mentoring actually people who came out of the Howard County Detention Center, 2 adults. He was working with them. They went with him, a couple of times, and he was showing them how to basically plan things and how to take care of it and so forth. And the idea is that we get our high school youth and early college to be mentors for some of these people who are also taking leadership classes through I Can Lead, and come out able to start something on their own or work as employees in some other project. And then phase 3, which inshallah we'll talk about a little bit later, which is a youth transitioning housing project. So basically for displaced teenagers who don't have a place. Either they're homeless, they came out of incarceration, or they just can't, they're out of town and they need a place to stay. So inshallah, on this small piece of land we're looking, the vision is to do a small house, 4 stories with a recreation area, study area, and obviously a place for residents. So just want to touch on Green Sprouts. And then the next slide, if we can go back to that one real quick. Halalia is also an integrated youth center. So yes, of course, video games and pillow fights and all that kind of stuff. And we have a lot of pillows in that room, so if you drop by, don't be surprised. But also, we're looking at weekend sleepovers where there could be assistance with homework, also Qiyam al-Layl, Quran. Some of the brothers who were doing a small internship for half a day this, last month at ISNA, they went to attend also a hearing on Afia Siddiqui. And one of the things they did is they bought the entire Sayyid Qutb English translation, so that during those weekends when they're over there, we can go through it as well. So inshallah, it's an integrated program platform for them to use their weekends and spring breaks and so forth in a more effective way with their peers and so on. It's like, what time is Salah? 7:15? Okay. So inshallah we'll continue after Salah. We'll break now and then we'll continue the discussion inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.